Major developments in the Boston Marathon bombing case in the last 24 hours as the surviving suspect communicates with investigators by writing about his alleged inspiration for the attacks. It is Wednesday, April 24th. Welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Wendy Bounds. Wall Street Journal's Devlin Barrett. He has been following every development in this fast-moving case. He joins us right now from Washington. Devlin, thank you so much. The surviving suspect, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, has been communicating by writing because of a gunshot wound to his throat. So based on his words, let's take this piece by piece. So far, he is saying that he and his older brother did not act as part of a larger terrorist group, but acted alone.
Correct. It's very limited communications is how it's been described to us because he can't talk. We're told he can nod his head a bit. He can make essentially grunting sounds that sound like yes or no, and he can write. But beyond that, it's not. There's not much communication, and so that limits how much information they can get from him. And now that he has a lawyer, that's probably going to limit that even further. But what we're told is that he's essentially said and told them that they were self-radicalizing, self-inspired, and self-trained in this attack.
What about motivation? I mean, again, as you say, it's very hard to get a lot of detail here, but any sense among investigators about the motivation?
We've been told that he's told them that there is a broad sentiment, general sentiment that they viewed themselves as jihadists and that they were angry at America for what they perceived as American attacks on Muslims, and that is why they decided to do this.
Let's talk about, Devlin, the potential role, we should emphasize, of pyrotechnics, i.e. fireworks in the Boston Marathon bombings. Investigators have learned something about these brothers in a connection with fireworks, but take us through whether that link has been taken all the way to the bombings.
Right, there's two interesting pieces of this. One is that they know that the older brother bought two large boxes of fireworks, something called a self or reloadable mortar, which in theory, if you wanted to, you could take the pieces apart and gradually assemble a fair bit of black powder. Black powder is essentially gunpowder. The other thing they found is when they searched the younger brother's college dorm room, they found what they have only described as a large pyrotechnic device, which, and what we've been told by experts in explosives is that you could build these bombs out of fireworks black powder. Although those same experts say it would be far simpler if you just went to a store and bought black powder directly. So it's a thing that the investigators are pursuing. They think that is possibly what was used to build the bomb, but they haven't reached a conclusion about that yet.
A lot of people focusing on sort of how, if they indeed, or as investigators are piecing together, if they indeed were sort of self-inspired, the question becomes, how did they learn how to do this? A lot of attention, Devlin, being focused on what they could have learned online through YouTube. What are you hearing on this end?
Well, what they've told, what the younger brother has apparently indicated to his interrogators is that they based it on an Al-Qaeda magazine that has a recipe, a bomb-making recipe for this type of bomb. It's a fairly detailed recipe. It's got pictures. But having said all that, I personally think that there has to have been a time to practice this and to refine what they did. And I know that the investigators are looking for that. They're looking to try and figure out how did they educate themselves, how did they do practice runs for this attack.
All right, Devlin Barrett, thanks so much for reporting on this. We'll continue to come back to you for more as this case unfolds.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Wendy.
it.